Hey, hey, Dustin, how you doing?
Hey, morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I am. I just triggered the live stream on this thing, and I am shutting up Slack so that it stops yelling at me. Come in. And it looks like Marissa's going to join us for this meeting in here,
Awesome.
which is going to be great because we're going to see exactly how short she is. There she is.
Hey,
This desk is too tall.
Here, let me move this out a little bit so that you can also be heard.
I have nothing to say. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I have no idea who's actually going to show up to this meeting, so it may be just the three of us. I think Amberly was planning to show up, so we'll give it a couple minutes. How's your morning so far?
good, good. Got to the gym and just kind of catching up on stuff this morning still.
Plug yourself.
I have no idea how that's going to work if I do this. Let me see.
Also, I'm gonna grab a water real quick.
Okay. I'm almost positive that's going to cause weird feedback. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I got the new Mac thing.
Oh, you decided to install software at the beginning of the workday?
Yeah, because I'm an idiot.
Marissa started the new Mac Mojave update this morning.
Because I'm an idiot is why. It's okay. I started it at like 7:30. It's just slow.
Okay. I don't know why this volume is not. Can you say something, Dustin? Okay. Did you get feedback when you did that? Okay. Fingers crossed that's not going to cause issues. I just unplugged my headphones so that Marissa could hear. Okay, here comes Amberly. Hey, how are you? Cool. So yeah, I'm going to assume that it's just going to be us today. Oh, of course I spoke too soon. Uh, what's up, Mikhail? Good, good deal. Okay, so here's what I think we're gonna do today. I'm gonna share my screen.
Just a question. Will you record this for folks that won't be joining us?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna I'm live streaming this now. So this is a very meta meeting, and I will just post this to YouTube. So something went weird with my Zoom after I updated to Mojave, where like all the buttons are missing from the video, so now I have to like go into menus to find things, which is great. Okay, so what I wanted to cover today is just kind of the general setup of how I've been doing the live streaming stuff, like the software that I'm using, and the general setup, as well as the kind of like the placeholder cards and just the other stuff that is helping make all of this work and kind of brand it and all that sort of fun stuff. So what I have in here is all the software. So I'll go through each of these and what they do. And really the general goal of what we're doing here is, I just wanted to kind of talk about live streaming in general and why I think it's a good idea for us and why I think it's important. And so from my standpoint, the live streaming that I've been doing has been really useful for getting people in the community. Just like I get to talk to people. People show up in the chat, they ask questions, they can see the stuff that I'm working on, and it helps us kind of double leverage our work. Because if you're going to be working on open source stuff anyways, then doing a live stream of you doing that work isn't you taking any extra time to away from your work. It's just putting that work out in public. And we've written down in our core values that that's something that we're trying to focus on, is really being transparent. So this is a great way to do that doesn't cost a lot in terms of the level of difficulty to start streaming is very low. You don't have to prep, you don't have to do anything. You just tweet and you turn on the stream and you let it rip. So with that being said, let's jump into the actual stuff. So the first thing is you'll need a Twitch account. Those are pretty quick to set up, and after you've set that up, you can go over to this OBS project, and the OBS project stands for Open Broadcaster Software. They've got distributions for everything, and it basically allows you to like put together these scenes. And so I'm going to do something that's going to be really, it's going to look super jacked up because I'm going to pull the broadcasting studio into its own window, which means we're going to get like deep screenception. So this looks super weird, but what this lets you do is you can change it over to like your webcam. You can do scenes with like a name card. You can do just your desktop, or like if you look up here, you can do picture-in-picture kind of stuff. And that's all done by setting up these audio sources. So if I go to my desktop with name card, oh god, now I can't see which one is which. Okay. So if I go to my desktop with name card, then I can start moving things around in here, and you'll see really only on the Twitch stream, you'll see the video move around. So it's really handy for that. I have saved all of my settings for this in Google Drive, so that you'll have to make some adjustments because the settings are like just links to your local audio sources and stuff. So some of it won't work. Like my mic is a Shure Digital. I think everybody's got different mics than I do, so that'll probably break. But if you fix the paths to the overlays and stuff, those should just work the way that they were before. So the next thing then, so this is kind of the whole deal. If you look at, sorry, I'm going to pull this over again, and I apologize because it looks super janky. But so there's the streaming stuff. So I just hit this start streaming button, and it sends things over to Twitch, and that's pretty rad because I don't have to think about anything at all, you know.
Do we need to set up the OBS to link to our Twitch account somehow, or is it not enough to do that?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Do we need to do any additional steps to link our Twitch account to set up our Twitch account in the OBS software?
Yeah, there's a settings where you have to drop in a streaming key, and there's an article here. This setup instructions at LifeWire will take you through every step. This is the one that Kurt sent me so Kurt was the first one to set up live streaming, and then I was asking him about it, and he sent me this article, which is basically got everything that I needed. The only thing that I did that Kurt didn't do is I set up this I Show You audio capture. And the I Show You audio capture is this one here. What this does is it allows you to put together a MIDI setup component. And so I have two outputs going to the same source. And this is how I can stream a meeting, because it'll stream the audio that's coming out of the computer as well as my mic to Twitch. Whereas before it would only stream my mic. And so it was like me, but there was no audio, which is, that's what this does. basically. So the next thing that I use is there's an article here that'll show you how to set up that OBS stuff with the iShowU audio capture. The actual, let's see, is it over here? Yeah. So these are the icons that I use. So this is the setup. Like you can import this into OBS. And this is the little icon that I put down in the bottom right. And this one is an overlay that will allow you to put your name in there. These are, like I said, when you download these, you're going to have to kind of update the thing. Let me show you what I mean. Actually, I'll show you in a second because there are a couple other things that we got to do as well. So another thing that needs to be, how do I hide this screen? Hide video panel. Show video panel. Oh my God.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get this thing to move so that I can actually. It used to collapse.
You can move it to the side, I think.
Okay, dock to the bottom. All right. So, can you see this drop down on my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a little helper tool called RDM. It means Retina Display Menu. And it will allow me to change the resolution on my screen to any of these resolutions. The lightning bolt means that it's high density. So whenever I'm streaming, I change the resolution to 1280 by 720. This is something that I picked up from Egghead because it just makes things a little easier to read. I'm not going to try to change my resolution midstream because I have no idea what that will do. So I'm going to just leave you to imagine what that looks like. But RDM is it's an open source tool. Installation instructions are here, and you can get that up and running pretty quickly. This will be really useful if you want to do any kind of video whatsoever, actually, because it's helpful when you're doing streaming to have a smaller screen. I've also found that this is really useful when I do presentations, because then I can control the resolution of my monitor that's being shared on the overhead projector. Then I have simplified VS Code settings, and let me show you what that means. So I have my iTerm, and so if I go and just use the standard setup, so let's go into one of my sites here, and I'm just going to do a code. So the window that ends up showing up is like just full of things. It's got this dock down in the bottom with a bunch of different things that are like, they're definitely useful, but that are kind of distracting. And then it also does a lot of like autocomplete and hover things that are wonderful in the time that they're happening, but they're like a huge pain in my ass when I'm trying to make a point. So if I start like typing a prop, I think, yeah, it'll start doing these popovers and things like that. And so that's all well and good, but don't save. What I can do instead is I put together this alias for teaching. And what teach does is it gives me a different setup that is, it's bigger, and it also doesn't give me any of the popovers. So I can actually see what's going on. Or at least I usually can when, get out of my way. So it lets me, it takes away some of the sidebars, it takes away the status bar, makes the font bigger, puts a higher contrast theme in place. Or actually it doesn't anymore because now I just use Sarah Drasner's Night Owl. But all of that is done with an alias. And so the alias that I have is I can just show you using user settings. So this is the actual settings file, and what it is doing is just disabling a bunch of things. So it disables my tab completion and hovering and things like that. So what's nice about this is that I've set this up as an alias. So if I do bash profile, I have just down here at the bottom of my bash profile this alias for teach, and all it does is it calls code but passes in a user data directory, and the user data directory is just like a different profile for VS Code, so that I don't have to think about it. Also, how did I? Oh, God damn it! Give me just a second here. I seem to have pushed buttons. Can you just go away if I? No, of course not.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm like clicking buttons and this. Oh, please just stop moving. Really? It won't stop. I don't care. I'm sorry.
Jason, are you seeing things?
Yeah, so on the video bar that Zoom shows on the right, I am clicking on videos and it's like showing me context menus that will not go away. And I have no idea how to make them stop. So yeah, I guess I apologize, but Mikhail, you have a menu on your face. So this alias here is super useful when you're showing code. It's not going to matter much if you're not showing code, obviously. And then, so all of that is on GitHub. So this alias is in my dot files, which you can find. It's just on GitHub under my dot files. My whole setup for my Mac is in here, as well as the VS Code settings, which are up here and in this user folder. So if you'd like, you can just lift this straight across so that when you're showing code, you can just point to this profile. And then outside of that, I mean, that's kind of the guts of it. Do you have any questions or anything that I can help with there?
I have one question. Sorry for jumping in late. Do we have a Gatsby Twitch account or channel, or is it all tied to individuals?
So the way that it works is there is a Gatsby Twitch account. That Gatsby Twitch account is currently set up to auto host each of our personal accounts. So, oh, and apparently it shows ads. That's fun. So right now the Gatsby stream is hosting my account, and so it's actually me. So what my thought is to make this as easy as possible. Everybody create your own Twitch account, and we'll just have Gatsby auto host everybody's Twitch streams, so that if somebody wants to just watch Gatsby things, they follow Gatsby and they'll get notified when anybody from the Ink team is doing that. And the problem this helps us avoid is that if you and I are both using Gatsby, we're going to have the same streaming token, which means that if we're trying to stream at the same time, we're going to have collisions. With the Gatsby channel, you just set an order of precedence for auto hosting. So we basically drag people into an order, and whoever's at the top of that list would be the one that gets auto hosted first. But that way we can both live stream at the same time without running into collisions or conflicts. So theoretically, the whole team could be live streaming all at once, and it wouldn't ever cause a problem.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we have a list of things that we know we want to live stream so that people can kind of say, oh, I am doing this thing today, so I should live stream it?
I mean, we haven't had that discussion. So my criteria is if it's work I'm doing that affects open source or that is me building a project that I'm going to open source anyways, I live stream it. And my reasoning for that is that I'm going to put the work in public. And really, if I'm being completely honest, live streaming helps me focus because I don't check Twitter when I'm live streaming. You know what I mean?
You check Twitch chat.
Well, you've got the Twitch chat, but Twitch chat is significantly less active than Twitter, right? So I get and it just, you know, it keeps me from moving over to the Slack channel to like avoid doing the work because I'm bored or something. You know, I have to stay focused on the thing that I'm doing, and it helps me move through a thought, and then I like get to the end of that thought and I go, okay, that's all we're gonna do for today, and then I can go like look at Slack or
So
whatever.
we don't have a list.
We don't have a list. What I would say is anything that can be public, there's no reason not to make it public. So if it's something that you're uncomfortable sharing, obviously don't do it. But if it's something that otherwise, like, you know, it's work that will eventually become public work, from my standpoint, there's no reason not to make that public.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. Is there any specific setup we need to do to like hide, for example, like notifications that will show up from Slack or stuff like that, or from calendars?
Yeah, so all I do is up at the top right, which I don't know if you can see my status bar up here, but if I alt click this, or you can also let me move the.
Yeah, sure. That's system wide.
Yeah, I just do the system-wide do not disturb, and that keeps anything from coming in that would like pop up on the screen, and that has been enough so far.
Okay, and my second question, does it automatically generate like video clips that we can later upload to YouTube, or is there anything we need to do additionally to do that?
What I do is I go to my, oh, that's this button. I go to my dashboard, and in my dashboard on the left-hand side, there's this video producer thing, and then you can edit this one's still in progress, so I can't do anything with it. So in this is the one that we shot yesterday. So when I click this button, I can edit it to update the description, things like that. And then I can also export. And if I hit export, it's going to let me export to YouTube. So I've already done that. So the only thing that I do is I check public, and then I'll just add some tags that are relevant to whatever it was that we did. I don't split the video. I guess if oh, my account is verified, so you may want to check whether or not you can upload 15-minute or longer chunks.
So
What?
this goes to your personal YouTube account, right?
It's my personal YouTube account, and so what I've been doing with the YouTube account is putting together playlists for the various things that we've been working on. So the process automation stuff is put together as a playlist, and every time I have a video, I just come in and add it to that. I've been refactoring my personal website, and so every time I do a video on that, I drop it into that playlist. This one isn't really going to have a playlist that it belongs in, so I'm just going to put it up as a standard video. But you can control all of that in this YouTube Studio, and in the YouTube Studio, you can just click through to your videos, and then the data in here is all the same stuff. So if once you export from Twitch, you can come in and change all this here, and then you just drop this thing, and you can create a new playlist if you need to, or check a box there, and then the same thing for this. I fill this stuff out. I don't know that you actually need to, but caption certifications and so on. And then you just pick whichever thumbnail you want to show up for the video. It'll auto select the thumbnail too, so you don't have to do that. But yeah, so that's kind of the YouTube side of things. Not a ton. It's one of those things that the first time I did it, it confused me a little bit because there were just different places to head to. The follow-up times, it's been it hasn't taken me much time at all, just because now I know the process. It's go to Twitch, hit export, go to YouTube, go to the studio, and change the details, and then you're done. I post tweets that are here's where it lives now, and thanks for watching, that kind of stuff.
Do you have to do anything special for YouTube to generate auto
I'm pretty sure it just auto generates on everything now because I think it's like a machine learning algorithm. But let's try it.
There he is.
So he's not
Hey,
actually.
I just sent you a message.
I
Cool.
thought you had to.
So yeah, so it's auto-generating
the goal for
captions.
today is to take a look
I
at
would
the
say on more
process
important
docs,
videos, like things
or
that
the
weren't just
process
a
automation.
live stream of us doing a meeting, we may want to go in and review these captions because I think they get a little funky.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty accurate. Like I watch a lot of YouTube videos with the captions on, and they tend to be like good but not perfect. So with I think a little bit of manual tuning, they could be perfect if we needed them to be on like a webinar or something.
So for things that we do, if it's like a live event, like a beginner workshop or something that we can stream from the Gatsby account, do we have a Gatsby YouTube account that we can export those to?
We do. Yeah, Linda has the details for that. I also have access, so if you... I don't think I can... Linda, do you have access to like give people access to YouTube?
Yes, I should. So I can add you as a user on the YouTube account if you want, Amberly.
Sure, or I can just ask for it if and when it comes up.
Okay.
Whatever works.
Cool. Yeah, I think that'll be good. I mean, I guess it's kind of like an as-needed thing because most likely Linda will be owning the stuff that's going to be like official. But we can, you know, if it ends up that we have some event that Linda's not leading that will go on the official account, we can definitely do that. Any other questions? Like I also think if anybody wants to, we can pair up on setting this up because it's a little funky the first time around, but you know, the articles and stuff that I posted really do kind of take you through the whole process. And the great thing about Twitch is that once you get that stream key, you can just start live streaming. So I did a couple test videos when I started because nobody knew that my channel existed, where I just turned things on and like talked and waved my arms and got a sense for whether or not it was gonna work. And it was like, I think it took me 1 or 2 tries to get all the settings the way that I wanted to before Twitch was doing what I wanted. Everybody good? Okay. So we...
I guess when we will have questions, once I pick it up, we will hit you up.
Yeah. So I'll put this agenda for anybody who's watching the stream. I'll put this agenda in the video description, and for the internal team, I'll circulate it in Slack.
And if there's, I was just thinking, like, as you're doing it, if there are questions, is there a channel we should post those in?
Yeah, put them in the DevRel Slack channel, and I should turn this into like an article or something, because then we'd have a kind of a reference for how to do this.
But if right now, if we have questions.
For right now, DevRel is the right place to put it.
Cool.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.